just last week, I was having lunch with a mentee of mine, and the thrust of the conversation was she wanted a discussion on how to, build a portfolio of board directorships, and she needed guidance. And in our conversation, a lot of it revolved around a few female mentors, this very small community of mentors that had been guiding her. And I thought to myself, well, if it's a small community of female mentors, how come you don't have this portfolio of board seats? And I said, for some of us, there's a sort of recycling. What about male, not so much male mentors, but building a stakeholder map of influencers who could potentially sponsor her for board roles? And I said, I'd be happy to do introductions. I mentioned the names of a few male board gurus. When I mentioned the name of the men, I noticed that there was resistance in her body language. She then opened up to me to say her husband had frowned on her having a male coach a couple of years ago, and so she was limited in the universe of support for her aspirations. So I said to her, we move. We strategized, and honestly, to my real delight, she sent me yesterday almost like a 5 or 6 page roadmap. Because I said, no further conversation until you come up with a roadmap. Hey, but you can give me, I said, you come up with a roadmap. Which industries do you want to sit on a board for? What value will you add? What are your skills? What are the transferable skills? Because you've actually sat on a listed company board before, but what are the transferable skills? And who are those who are influential within the spaces that you want to operate? So, we're going to be on the journey together, and I'm going to help her execute it. But again, it's about access. And we should not be cowed, by, whether it's societal norms or whatever. We should just ask God for wisdom as to how to navigate these things. And, indeed, if you look at many women who've broken through in their careers and businesses, they do not simply just, pull themselves up. They actually send the lift back down for others. And I can see many in this room. My sister, Mrs. Betty Rabo, Dr. Dukwe Lebuti Odunsi just walked in, and Inu Emua of the Africa Women CEOs Network, and so many more in this room, who keep sending the lift back down to ground floor, keep sending the lift back down. Sometimes they go down with the lift and bring other women up. And that's what we must continue to reinforce. We must continue to give that access. We must continue to make the introductions. We must continue to sponsor, not just mentor. This is all there, all the mentorship, women mentorship all over the place. What is it translating into? What is it translating into? We must sponsor. My name has been mentioned in rooms where I didn't know, I wasn't aware. There was a particular assignment I was given in, I think, 2013, where 3 different gentlemen claimed that, well, do you know how you got the appointment? I said, no. He said, I gave your name. Oh, thank you. The next one, do you know how I gave your name? So obviously they are mentioning the name somewhere, and they wouldn't stake their credibility if they didn't think that one would be able to deliver. So it's also important to earn the right to be sponsored by being credible, by being knowledgeable, by standing up, by showing up, by speaking out. So ladies, the doors that were once closed to so many of us before, these days we will continue to hold those doors open. We will continue to handhold younger women, our peers, because it's not just about younger women. I'm 65 in May, and I still have people in their late 50s who come and say, I don't have a house here to have been working for 30 or 40 years. I say, it's never too late. Okay, let's roll. What can you do? How much do you have? Even if it's a car park space at Gatwick Airport, we will buy it. We will have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So it's important that it's never too late to start. But again, use the access, and that's very, very important. So the third dimension, I'm going to skip a little bit of what I was going to say. The third dimension is the giving of time. And in giving time, we build legacy. What do we want to be remembered by? I'm a strong advocate of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And the first habit is begin with the end in mind. Write your tombstone. When I start a new job or a new role, I tell people I plan my exit from day one. And my exit is, what are the 2, 3, 4 things that even 20 years later, they will remember me by? Including causing good trouble. I cause a lot of good trouble wherever I work. So I'm memorable for those things that I've left behind, that I've climbed mountains, I've, jumped through hoops to be able to establish for other women as well. So it's important that we give of our time. I know it's a resource that we can never recover. And for many of us in our careers, we're juggling so many things. Family, community, and so on and so forth. And our balance, when people say, how do you balance? Say, balance doesn't balance. You just have to continue. You just have to continue to, juggle it. But I'm not asking us that we should give more of our time. I'm asking that we should be more intentional about where our existing time goes. I have a lot of people who walk up to me who want you to mentor. And I say, well, sorry, I've got to ensure that you're not going to waste my time and I'm not going to waste your time. So we've got to get it right. You will do the thinking, you will do the doing, you will do the heavy lifting. I will do the guiding. So don't think that you're going to come and help me do this. No. Let's think through it and have the desired outcome, but through your heavy lifting. I've seen, many women who say they're struggling with time management. And I tell them, I said, no, there will always be 24 hours in a day. So nothing is wrong with time. No, it's about self-management and the intentionality in resource allocation and purposefulness. Because it's always 24 hours in a day. So time has no business with it. How do I manage myself? What do I spend my time doing? So we need to spend time and, try also and get into leadership positions and boards, not just to shift the conversation, but to also inform and shape policy.